in a long time.
I want to get to, from all of you, whether you're optimistic or pessimistic about the future of this country, should we say the fact that India has held itself together has been its toughest challenge and a miracle that it has over these 50 years, when you think of all the diversity that's there and all of the potential to split apart?
I think that's probably true. You know, I mean, I don't think, in my memory, I can't really think of a moment at which it was credibly on the cards that India would split apart. You know, I mean, actually, I think the surprising resilience of the country, you know, I mean, was there, I mean, has been there throughout, you know, and I think there have been moments of terrible crisis. But the idea that the country would disintegrate, I think, you know, Pakistan is a country which you can talk about as one which has been, I mean, actually has disintegrated. It started off as a larger country, which split into two, and even in what is now Pakistan, what used to be West Pakistan, great internal pressures between the Pathans in the north, the Balochis in the west, the Sindhis in the south, the separatist pressures. I mean, leaving aside Khalistan in the Khalistan movement of a Sikh homeland, and Tamil pressure in the south, there hasn't been a credible movement to split the country, I would say. There have been such rhetorical statements and some terrorist acts, but I don't think there was ever a moment where I thought the country would split. So that is, I mean, it just does exist. You know, it just is there, and it does exist, and it ain't going to break up. In fact, maybe the opposite's going to happen. I mean, there is some...
What, it'll consolidate into...
Well, you know, anti-partition, un-partition. Yeah. I mean, I don't, by which I don't necessarily mean political union. You know, but this, I mean, I remember what the oldest object I possessed, I was given on the day I was born by my father's best friend, is a block of silver on which is engraved the unpartitioned map of India. You know, the real India, you know, the big place. And that's what I think of. That's what I think of, you know.
When you think of India, that's what you think of?
Yes, yes. I mean, when I was editing this anthology, I decided to ignore the frontier. You know, if there are Pakistani writers, I'd like to put them in. You know, I thought, why
so we have Pakistani writers in here?
Yes, sure. Why should I partition the literature just because that happened? You know, and that's what it seemed to me. And I think we were talking earlier today that there do seem to be moves to create not a reunion of the country, not like Germany, but a kind of looser federation. You know, they're talking about 10 years from now dropping tariff barriers. I mean, it's a long time away. You know, I don't think it's going to happen the day after tomorrow, but it does seem, if one's looking optimistically, to think that, you know, 50 years from now we might talk about partition as a blip, you know, instead of as something irrevocable. I mean, this is, if you,
okay,
you know,
while I'm
asking for the
staying on
positive.
Politics, what about